Trump will flip the switch. Now, I know that some people are going to get triggered by that opening statement. I'm going to be fair. I'll make a separate video on the Kamala campaign's promise and what they're going to be doing with crypto when we get it. Right now, we know that they're in the process of a reset with the crypto industry. So I'm just going to acknowledge the fact that Trump has come on out and said that he wants us to be leaders in this industry. He wants us to be Bitcoin hodlers. And he says that if it's not us, it's going to be China or one of our competitors. So we might as well get it done. So in this video, we're going to break it down. We got some data points to cover. And then I'm going to get into Trump flipping the switch and what this means for us investing in the cryptocurrency space worldwide, but in particular, those who want to operate businesses that use and are within this industry here in the USA. Let's get started right away here by taking a look at this data point here. In the span of 3 weeks, 6.4 trillion has now been erased from global stock markets per Bloomberg. And this is what pains me so much, is to see folks sitting in doing nothing with their 401ks, their retirement accounts, when we soared to all-time highs. The numbers and the valuations could not be justified, and folks just sat there and let their money managers keep them in the traditional 60-40 portfolio. The bonds just had their worst year ever. The 60-40 portfolio just had its third worst year ever. We saw here, just the past couple days, it was a couple trillion, but just over the past few weeks, 6.4 trillion wiped out. And so I want folks to have a plan. I want you to be prepared, and we need to be moving now before this correction continues further. Like I've been saying, correction before the election, and what we've seen over the past week is just the start. We are nowhere near done with what has taken place. Now, the good news for those of you that are looking to buy your favorite assets, well, just like our good friend Rick Rule says right here, if you were attracted to an asset class at a certain price and then it falls by half, then that asset should be precisely twice as attractive at half the price. And this is why we have so much confidence in our fundamental investments that we've been making. The technicals still look great. The psychology of the average retail investors in our the assets that we've been investing in, precious metals, XRP, has been shaken, and some of them aren't going to make it because they don't understand fundamentals and they don't understand buying opportunities. If you liked XRP at 60 cents and it's 60, 70, 80 cents, and it's gone down to 42 cents this last week, that was a buying opportunity. The 42-cent level is a support level going all the way back to last year. And it's a level that we've been highlighting, and it's a level that we've been ready for. And this is exactly why we've had our cash on the sidelines ready to deploy. And this is why I said we just had 6.4 trillion wiped out of the equities markets, and this is 6.4 trillion that doesn't come back, right? This will not come back, despite the little bit of a rally that we had here recently. Remember what happened during 2020? The S&P 500 had over half a dozen 4% up days where the markets went up 4%, had over half a dozen of those days on its way to a 30% correction during 2020. Are we going to have that big of a correction this time around? We'll see. It's a global margin call that's underway. We're not done. And when these assets go on sale, we're taking advantage of it. Now, continuing on, this is the update from the Bank of Japan Deputy Governor Uchida sees no rate hike during market instability. So we just finally got comments from the BOJ, Bank of Japan Deputy Governor, and basically admitting that, hey, we're screwed. We're screwed. And if we don't stop, if we don't pause this, then we're going to screw over everybody else as well. Because what's happening is this reverse carry trade. Everybody was taking out cheap debt in Japanese yen, and then they were gambling it around the rest of the world. And even if they were taking risk-free return, 4%, 5% T-bills, as the Japanese yen strength, now they're getting margin called. And if the Fed does an emergency rate cut, it's going to bring that margin even tighter. The spread between Japanese yen debt versus US debt, and that spread tightening makes even more margin calls occur, where folks are going to have to sell off even more of these assets. Now, the BOJ Deputy Governor here is saying that there's going to be no rate hikes during market instability. Well, as I highlighted, the market's recovering right now off of the speculation of the Fed's doing emergency rate cut. They're going to buy back treasuries. They're going to save the day. Everything's okay. Everything goes up. A little goalie that we went through, but we're just fine, right? Well, if we start to see that that stability kind of come back, why would they not continue raising rates? Why would they not continue to tighten up and strengthen their dollar? And maybe they don't even have to make much more of a move. They already did, and the damage is already done. And now the Fed's in a tough spot where they're going to look weak. They're going to look behind the curve if they do an emergency rate cut. But they also, how are, if they do the rate cuts, it's only going to compound and exacerbate the issues that are happening with this global margin call. Now, continuing on here, I want to show you guys this. This is the SOM rule. And the SOM rule has already been triggered in Canada 9 months ago, and the unemployment has not stopped going up since. So right here in November of 2023 equals 4.77% unemployment. This SOM rule has been triggered. And ever since then, it has just continued going up. And you can see every time that this rule was triggered, we went into a recession. And so Canada already in recession, and it's not looking like it's getting much pretty up there to our dear friends up north anytime soon. How about down here in the United States? Well, when it comes to credit card balances and auto loans, they are at record highs as the delinquency rates on both are rising fast. What could go wrong? And this is all part of the global margin call, whether it's a hedge fund that is doing the Japanese, carry trade, or whether it's just Joe Blow on the street who's having to use buy now, pay later to pay for groceries because he's struggling. I mean, I just saw a video today of a Canadian woman saying that she just took out a loan to pay for essentials. And this is not something that makes me happy or giddy. I'm not excited about this. It's just, we have... While the rest of the markets have had their blinders on and they've been watching the stock market go up over here, they've been completely discounting what's happening on the ground, right? And this is why I get so worked up about this, is because real people are getting squeezed out. And what folks want to happen is for the Fed to cut rates. It's too late. The damage is already done. It's not going to save anybody, right? The credit card rates are already tapped out. They're at the highest levels ever, and the balances are at the highest level ever. And now the delinquency rates are skyrocketing. I was just watching a video from Nick Gurley, Reventure Consulting, talking about, or actually it was Michael Bernardino, one of my other favorite real estate guys that I listen to on YouTube, talking about debt collections and how that has spiked here recently. Folks, this is a global margin call, all the way from the biggest hedge funds down to the regular guy just trying to feed his family. It's not good. And we've been talking about trying to make some moves here as far as leveling the playing field with cryptocurrency, giving folks access to decentralized money. That might help the situation. And it seems like the Democrats are finally waking up to this. And now they're trying to get their ducks in a row and come up with a crypto policy. As I titled this episode, Trump's going to flip the switch. We know what his policies are. I'm going to show you guys that, and we'll talk about that in a second. But now we're watching as the Dems are trying to, get everything squared away. And it's full panic in the Democratic campaign as to what the crypto policy should be. When we get the crypto policies, I will make a video reacting to that. But in the meantime, we're watching them scramble. This is from Eleanor Terrett. She says, a collection of Democrats in the crypto space who don't want to see Donald Trump run away with this issue have created a group called Crypto for Harris. And I think I did follow this. Yeah, I did follow this because I'm going to be responding to this Twitter profile in real time. Every time that they make a tweet, and I'm gonna be responding to that in real time, and we're gonna see what they're up to. But the group says it will hold a public virtual town hall next Wednesday to discuss ways it plans to support the Harris campaign. Billionaire entrepreneur Mark Cuban will speak at the meeting alongside other industry participants. So we will see if Brad Garlinghouse gets invited again. They definitely should. It's the right thing to do, for them to call up Brad and for Brad to go. Despite some folks not liking, what we've seen from the Democrats and all that, it's the right thing for Brad to do, to go play both sides of the aisle and to make sure that everybody understands, hey, Ripple's here to stay no matter who gets elected. Our business is here to thrive no matter who gets elected. And it's going to thrive even more so if they get behind us and actually allow this industry to thrive, right? That's what we want to see. This shouldn't be a political issue. And we know the Kamala campaign wants to reset. We're going to watch that, see how that goes. We got another Ro Khanna meeting coming up here shortly. It's going to be get everybody together, and we're going to see what they can come up with. But they come out with, and they put out a post here today. They put out a post here. It says, crypto is building a movement to support Kamala Harris. A group of industry leaders, policy experts, and everyday crypto enthusiasts are organizing to back Harris while pushing for a nuanced policy stance that positions America as a leader in digital assets. And I almost retweeted this out earlier, but I was going to respond to that post and say, okay, why did Kamala not come out in her speech tonight with her new VP pick, Tim Walz, and say that she's going to fire Gary Gensler because Trump comes out and he says straight up, I'm going to fire Gary Gensler. And oh, by the way, let me remind everybody, every time we talk about Gary Gensler, we talk about him being the CFO of the criminal campaign conspiracy. Every time Gary Gensler is brought up, Trump has to remind us of that. I wonder what he knows. But why is the Harris campaign, why are the Democrats not coming out and putting out the policy stance right now that you're going to get rid of Gary Gensler? He's failed. Absolute failure. The loss against Ripple in and of itself, XRP in and of itself not being a security, well, the loss, in and of itself right there for the SEC is a done deal. I mean, just right there, the fact that they brought that case and took a major loss on that one, costing the industry, hundreds of millions of dollars in battling legal battles, but hundreds of billions of dollars in damages done to the cryptocurrency space, not just to the XRP community. I mean, overall, you're talking about trillions of dollars of damages, while the rest of the countries around the world are thriving and all of the investment money's coming there. All of our investment dollars here are going to fight battles in litigation. So if they want to actually get their ducks in a row and come up with something, they better move quickly. It's not looking good. Now, speaking of elections, campaign, and crypto, we got this guy, Rick Claypool, filed a public citizen complaint to the FEC with Molly White, who found Coinbase apparently violating the ban on contractors donating to campaigns. Paul Gwall, the chief legal officer of Coinbase, says Coinbase isn't really a contractor. Whether intentional or not, this is misinformation. So he's trying to make the case that you got Coinbase as a private contractor of the federal government, and therefore they are not allowed as a private contractor to make campaign donations. Now, Paul Gwall responds, and he says, seized crypto assets are not congressionally appropriated funds, period. So he's saying basically what this issue is that Coinbase is working with the government to seize crypto assets where criminal activity has occurred, right? But they are not private contractors of the government, okay? There is nothing new in the FEC complaint filed by a self-described crypto critic and public citizens research director, but it is notable that there is no minimum bar to file such a complaint, and this is one filed by individuals with no election law expertise and funded by who exactly? Appears to amount to a press release by another name. Coinbase is proud of its hand-in-glove work with federal law enforcement. We remain committed to playing a trusted role for the U.S. Marshals Service cryptocurrency services requirement. Yeah, this is all the crypto that the Marshals is seizing, which is funded by the sale of assets forfeited to the DOJ's Asset Forfeiture Fund, not congressionally appropriated tax dollars. It's also worth noting that Coinbase is donated to both sides. Yep, we get all that. Now, the first thing that I thought of when I saw this was, oh crap, well, what about Ripple? Okay, because we know that Ripple's donated $50 million to Fairshake. One of the largest donations in the entire crypto space comes from Ripple because they got it like that, right? They're still flush with cash, despite the rest of the space saying that, Ripple's going nowhere and XRP's dead. But they've donated the most amount of money in the United States so far, essentially. But I was worried because they've donated $50 million to Fairshake, and I'm thinking, oh crap. Well, what if Ripple does have any sort of, private contractor deals with the government? Maybe they could get themselves in trouble too. So, I hate to mention that because I don't want another one of these journalists to, come up with some attack, and come after Ripple as well. But, that's something that I thought of right away. Nonetheless, we'll see where this case goes, if it's a real issue or not. It doesn't appear to me, just reading this surface level. I haven't dug into the details. I'll report back on it more. But for now, it doesn't look like Coinbase is really violating the law, as they're just seizing assets ordered by the U.S. Marshal Services. So that's not being a private contractor. That's just, following the law. But anyways, we'll see where that case goes. We'll see if Ripple ends up being any sort of federal contractor in the future. We definitely know that there's some conversations going on there. But speaking of selling off assets, this is that Jump Trading, and we've been watching them. They cashed out $116.7 million again 11 hours ago. Since Jump Trading started selling ETH on July 24th, they withdrew 611 million USDC from Binance and deposited 558 million USDC to Coinbase. The USDC deposited into Coinbase will likely be exchanged for US dollars at 1-to-1. This goes back to the global margin call. It's the largest hedge funds in the world. It's platforms like this, Jump Trading. It's the German government selling. It's the Mt. Gox bankruptcy filing finally being concluded. That's all, it's FTX creditors are still trying to get paid. This is a global margin call that's been ongoing since November of 2022 in the cryptocurrency space when FTX collapsed. You could even say that it goes back to May during the lunar eclipse when Luna got sacrificed. And maybe that was the start of the global margin call. But nonetheless, this is continuing to be unwind. We're not done, and we need to watch this closely. This is the correction before the election. But after this election, if and when Trump gets elected, he's saying that he's going to flip the switch. And I think it's going to spur on one of the biggest bull runs that we've seen in this cryptocurrency space yet. Because I also think that the Fed's going to be turning on the money printer at the same time. Check it out, folks. Trump on the Aiden Ross stream, and this was a power move. This is nothing as far as, I love Trump. This is an endorsement of Trump. No, this is just good politics going with a Gen X streamer who has the culture, who has the kids. Aiden Ross gifting Trump a wrapped Cybertruck with the picture, the iconic photo of Trump raising his fist with the American flag in the background. That's the picture that wrapped the Cybertruck that Aiden Ross gifted Trump. He also gifted him a little little Rolex watch, little Rolly for Trump. That's good. And that's what I'm saying. That's a great move by Trump. And it's also a great chess move to lean into the cryptocurrency industry. Listen in on what he has to say as far as what he's going to do with crypto.
I know I saw you when you went to go speak in Nashville. Yeah. You talked about crypto. You said that crypto can help with that. You mentioned that it's somewhat like gold. Do you think that, when you get back in office, you would still fully support crypto? And I just saw that the U.S. government, ever since you spoke about it, they're selling crypto. They're selling it. What would you do if you were in office with crypto?
It's something they shouldn't be doing because they should be trying to build it. So if we don't do it, China's doing it, other places are doing it, and they're doing it anyway.
Yeah.
And it's a very modern currency. It's a very modern form. And I know a lot of very good people that are really into that world and into that market. They're smart. They're good people. And they think it's going to be very beneficial. And remember this, though. It's very important. It's like AI. Do you love it? Not like it? If we don't do it, China's going to do it. Or other people are going to do it.
Yeah.
And we can't be left behind. And crypto is right in that sphere. And it is a form of currency. And if China's already doing it, but if we don't do it, they're going to do it.
A form of modern currency, which I find to be a very interesting choice of words to use currency, right? He's not using token. He's not using security. He's using currency, right? What's so interesting too about this is that Trump saying that he, talks to a lot of smart people in the industry. We know for a fact that Ripple has been within his administration. We know that Ken Kurson was a board of directors at Ripple, served under Trump. We know that Ripple was tasked with Steve Mnuchin's Executive Order 13772 that drafted a new financial system, including digital assets as part of that. And we know, this is the kicker, is that Ripple's getting ready to launch that stablecoin. And one of the key pieces that I took away from the Trump speech in Nashville was the statement on stablecoins being the key to continuing and expanding US dollar dominance, right? And it just so happens to be that Ripple's getting ready to launch that stablecoin. It looks to me like everything's set to align. Trump's going to flip the switch. I know some people don't think that Trump's going to get elected. Some people don't want to vote for Trump. That's fine. As I've always said, I don't care who's getting elected. Me and you need to take advantage of the greatest transfer of wealth in world history, no matter who's going to be our president. So let's make sure that that gets done. If Trump does get elected, I'm telling you right now, a Trump pump will occur, and it is going to be massive. It's going to be a pump like we've never seen before in this space. I firmly believe that. You're going to have his administration lean into crypto with the broader Congress and legislation being passed at the same time when it's looking like more liquidity is going to have to come in to backstop the system. More liquidity is coming in from the Fed. More liquidity is going to be coming back here to the United States as far as investments coming back. And it's all going to be good news for us invested in building within the cryptocurrency industry here in the United States of America. I'm looking forward to it. You guys let me know in the comments down below what you think of Trump flipping the switch. And let me know what you guys think Trump's opinion of XRP is. You think Trump even knows about XRP? We'll be watching closely. His sons just said that they have a special announcement in regards to DeFi. We'll update you further on that one. And if you appreciate our content and updates, please make sure you like the video, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Everything can be found at ZachRector.com. I appreciate all of you, and God bless. Thank you. I am your host, Zach Rector. I really appreciate all of the love and support. If you want to support the channel, just remember that you can start by smashing that thumbs up for me, sharing this content far and wide, and everything else is at my website.